Hello, my name is Abigail and welcome back to Polyglot Progress. Today is June 2nd, 2020, but I never got to formally introduce this video, it seems, back when I was starting to film it, so I'm gonna do that now. One of the things that this channel was built on and that I'm really trying to incorporate again into this channel, because it's actually been a little while since any of them have been posted, is diaries capturing my progress in different languages. These videos capture my speaking abilities in the language throughout the learning process, and then also other videos like the romance language challenge we did with Mango Languages capture some of the actual studying in it as well. But one thing I feel like has been lacking, other than quick touch-ins through videos like the goals videos and the podcasts and stuff, is just a way to keep up with my language learning as a whole. Definitely, not only is there fluctuation in the actual learning of a language and progress made and sometimes days that are less great and that sort of thing, and I really want to be encapsulating that in my videos, but there's also fluctuations in things like motivation and getting burnout and feeling good about your language studies, feeling not so good about your language studies, discipline, all of these things that come into it, and I wanted to capture that as well. So I've decided to start doing a monthly recap where you'll be able to see sort of my progress when it comes to just language learning as a whole over the course of the month. So I'll have clips of me studying, I'll have little check-ins talking about how I'm feeling throughout the month, and just kind of things like that, keep you a little bit more updated on my process specifically and give you a little bit more of a look into what it's like to actually learn a language or multiple languages. It's now been like 3 or 4 days since the last time I did German, maybe a little bit more. I want to say Monday was the last time I did anything, which sort of makes sense because Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday I have class, and for Tuesday and Wednesday it's literally the whole day. And then on top of just having class, it's been like a ton of homework. Not necessarily a ton of homework being assigned, but just a ton of things I need to be working on, especially for bigger projects and whatnot. I've spent so much time editing and staring at a computer and getting burnt out from that, and reading and doing stuff with unemployment insurance, which is also not fun and really stressing me out and making me feel horrible. So I haven't really done any language learning, and I feel like my fear here is that it's gonna end up being like the past pretty much year. I always want to say past like month or so, but it's really been about a year now. I guess kind of over a year, where it's been things just constantly coming up and getting in the way of me studying. And I know a lot of it totally is like, if you want to do something, make time for it. But I think for one, I've had a few too many things happening, not necessarily in a way that I can alter. So that's gotten in the way. And then also I just feel like I've felt just so burnt out because language learning requires some level of academicness, unless you're kind of only learning through watching TV and stuff, which just isn't my preferred method of study. I like watching films and things in other languages, but genuinely one of the things that brings me joy from it is sitting down with the textbook. So it might seem a little weird that I feel like then I can't sit down with the textbook, but just when you're feeling burned out academically and from doing so much work and stuff, studying sometimes isn't the right way to relax. But that's just my fear. And so that's part of why I wanted to do these kind of like monthly diaries as a whole. It's just because I feel like stuff like this happens and it's hard to see it when you have just like a clip that's just, here's my German 6 months ago and here it is now, look how much more I can say. you don't get so much the periods of time like this where it's just all so difficult. So I set up in the Clever Fox planner my kind of plans for the month, and I gave myself like basically a chapter. Sometimes it was half a chapter, sometimes it was even a third of a chapter to do each day, so that way I could be almost all the way through the German tutor book. I originally had been going for the whole German tutor book, but because I have class all day Tuesday and Wednesday, and then class on Thursday, not for the whole day, but still it's there, I wanted to kind of space out and not be doing a full chapter on like a Tuesday night after being in class all day. So it ended up getting me to chapter 17 by these plans. I'd be done with 17, and there's 22 chapters in the book. When I first started, I was ahead. I was like a whole unit ahead basically. But you can see that not that many things have been crossed off. The last day that was crossed off was the 6th. Like I said, I've had so much schoolwork that has kept me from doing it. But something that I have also realized is that I am, I guess, not as good at getting myself back on track as I like to think I am. I mean, it might be just because of like pandemic craziness right now that this is happening, but I think it is revealing a little bit more about myself, that's kind of how I'm processing stuff like this. Because I yesterday had like a not great day, and I wasn't productive really at all. I got one thing done, and it was watching a movie for a class. And granted, I did have class all day as well, so I was in class. It did limit my kind of productivity hours, but still I wasn't really that productive at all. And so today I feel like I've just kind of had this like kind of feeling of like, well, I haven't been doing anything anyway, and now I've got so much stuff to do because I didn't do it yesterday and all that. And I feel like when things build up because I put them off or I haven't had time or whatever, it makes me just not want to do them. Definitely I'm trying not to let that happen with this German project and just with getting back to language learning in general. I'd say in general it's been going pretty well. So I'm gonna try to get through 2 units today. I don't want to overwhelm myself by trying to catch up. I'm not gonna absorb the things probably unless it's all stuff that I already know, but still it's not gonna give me as good of a refresher, and we're trying to avoid burnout. Remember how I said that maybe the chapter would be things that I already knew and could kind of brush past? Turns out, yeah, I can. So if you've been here for an absolutely long time at this point, since I was learning German from the beginning and working my way through Teach Yourself German, you'd know that I always did every single exercise in the book. I didn't skip any of them. I felt like that was really the best way for me to learn things. I still absolutely do like doing the exercises in textbooks. I feel like that is how I get stuff to stick in my brain. And if I'm not doing exercises, usually I'm making myself do my own kind of sample exercises or sentences or whatever. But this time, since I'm really doing kind of like a refresh, I'm taking notes through the book on things like verb conjugation and vocab that maybe I don't really know as well. I am not going through and doing all of the exercises. Coming back into language learning, I felt like I was a little bit almost kind of like worried and stressed out and kind of putting a pressure on myself, because I did have a time where I was kind of okay saying that I spoke like 4 or 5 languages. I don't even know how many it really ended up getting to be. But I was comfortable having conversations in that many languages, and at this point I'm like, it's really only English, but it's because I've been gone for stuff for so long, and so I feel like I felt a little bit of worry of like, have I forgotten absolutely everything, and I'm gonna have to start all over, and all these things that don't really matter anyway, even if I'd started all over. But I have noticed that by going back to the beginning, I'm solidifying stuff that I never really learned super well the first time around, and stuff that I was maybe making mistakes on. And also it's bringing a lot back, like things that I'm even not refreshing right now. I think by going back to the very basics of things like, how do I make the past tense and stuff, I'm able to kind of remember a lot more. So if you've had a little bit of time away from a language, or just languages in general, I think that this is really working out. So try it out. I gotta say, I do find it a little weird that it's Unit 8 that they're introducing how to form and how to use the definite and indefinite, because in all of the units before then, they kind of reference, like, let me see if I can find it. They reference how to use them in different cases. So they're like already talking about these without actually having talked about them. And I know that this book is mainly to be used as kind of a reference, but it does say that you can work your way from front to back, and is often kind of set up in a way where it would make sense to work from front to back. So it is a little strange, I feel like, that they put this way back here. I'm supposed to be finishing Unit 10 today. I finished Unit 8 today, so we're catching up a little bit. Long time no update. So it is now finals time, so things are so crazy. I definitely haven't studied German in a little while, but I'm also not feeling super bad about it right now because literally I wake up, I do work for the whole day, and then I go to sleep. So I haven't really been putting it off. It's just that I've really had too much other work that I have to focus on. But all that's almost also done, so that also helps me feel a little bit less bad about it, because in pretty much a week or so, I will be able to just focus on that sort of thing. What I have been doing, though, there has been some sort of language involvement, because I have a final project that is translation related. So I've been working on translating for French. I haven't really filmed clips because most of it's pretty boring. It's just me typing on my computer. I'm subtitling my senior film, so basically what I did was I typed up a transcription of all of the dialogue, because some of the dialogue changed while we were on set, so it's not exactly the same as the script. So typed all that up, and now I've been going through and translating it. I'm doing that all in a Google document just so I can keep track of it and easily kind of change things as I need. And then I'm going to go through and add the subtitles. It's been pretty interesting, though. There's a lot of words that are kind of not things that I knew because they're specifically roller derby related, in that I'm learning that a lot of stuff is just kept from the English, so there isn't really new French terms, but still it's been fun to try to track that down. I've been watching a bunch of videos from like roller derby coaches that are in French, so I can just see what they say in those instances. I've been watching like videos on roller derby that are in French. There's not a whole lot of them, and they're all from like 2010, but they exist somewhat. It's been a fun little kind of like puzzle to solve, little journey to take me on. Today is May 25th, and I'm finally getting back to language learning after like a month and 10 days, I want to say. I took basically that first month portion of it off because I just needed to finish schoolwork. It was the last month of school, and so I had final projects to finish and essays to write and stuff, and so I literally was waking up, doing work, and then going to bed. There wasn't really time for language learning. If I tried to make time, I probably would have just stressed myself out and burnt myself out. So had to take a little pause there for a brief moment. And then the last like 10 days, I basically took like kind of like a week-long break, sort of a little bit less than that, I guess, just to kind of relax after the semester ended. Spend some time with my family because my birthday happened. And then the past like 3-4 days have been spent building this loft bed and just trying to set up this new space in my room. It's definitely still a mess behind me as I try to move things into this new setup. And it'll definitely become a mess again soon as I go back to New York and recover some of my things from my apartment and move back home slowly. But I'm really excited to have more of a workspace. And today I'm getting back to studying, so I planned out the end of May. I'm gonna use this last exactly a week to finish the German tutor book that I took a pause on when I stopped studying at the middle of April. I have 13 units left, so I'm gonna try to do 1 today and then 2 all of the rest of the days of this week. And then it will be June, and what I am planning on doing is doing something with Spanish. That's the other thing I'm trying to do tonight, is figuring out what I want to do. I'm trying not to order any like books, but I don't really have a Spanish textbook at all right now, so I think I've decided that I'm gonna end up ordering Spanish tutor. I was kind of considering getting either Enjoy Spanish or Colloquial 2 Spanish, but I would like to be able to start over from the beginning and review stuff like I'm planning to do for all of these languages. And I do own Italian tutor, so I'm planning to do that. I considered doing Italian next month instead and trying to get my book from my apartment and stuff, and just felt like too much effort and work. And I also would really like to do Spanish next, just because while I definitely am interested in doing Italian next, I'd almost say that I'm more interested in doing Italian next between the two. I really want to get my Spanish to a good level, just for various things in my life. So for more of a functional reason, I'd really like to get my Spanish to a much better level. So I think that that's the one that I should start doing second. So probably gonna place an order tonight for a Spanish book and hope that it gets here before next week. If not, then I'll do something else in Spanish for the first few days. It's okay. So that's the plan. We're coming back. I also may schedule some Italki lessons soon. I was looking around at German tutors on Italki. So I didn't get to do my German yesterday, but I am so determined to stay on track with this little plan that I made myself to finish this before June starts. So I'm going to try to get through 4 units of German tutor today, which sounds really crazy, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 2 units now, and then probably tonight I'll do the other 2 units, so that way it'll kind of break it up as though it's 2 separate days. And maybe it will be too much, and then I'll just kind of bump the other ones a little bit later this week, but I'm gonna try to get through 4 units. So I think I'm actually going to end up making a review of this, or probably more likely I'm going to do a video that kind of encompasses the whole Teach Yourself series, like the complete book, the Enjoy book, and then the tutor book. But I just have to say that I love German tutor so far. I'm, I guess, a little over halfway through, and honestly I really love it. I feel like I'm not only refreshing all of those kind of beginner points that I wanted to refresh, but I feel like I'm gaining a much deeper understanding of just everything from the basic level than I got previously, and just, it's very enjoyable. I feel like I'm gaining a lot. It's really helping remind me of things, and maybe it's specifically helpful to me since I did take a break and wanted to review old things, but also still want to feel like I'm kind of progressing. So basically the whole concept behind these kind of monthly recaps is sort of to capture my language learning in a diary. I do the diaries for specific languages, but I just wanted a way to kind of update on like just my learning in general, because I do go through phases where I'm feeling more motivated, I'm feeling less motivated, I'm not really able to study. And I feel like today I have like a little update there. I have done my 2 units of German in the morning, and I'm honestly so excited to be about to do the other 2 units. I need to go make myself dinner because I'm starving. I've been trying to kind of unpack my things, as you can see from the clothes hanging on the loft bed, so I need to get food. But throughout the day I've been watching YouTube videos from other polyglots and language YouTubers, which I feel like, again, I haven't really gotten to do because I've been so busy that watching things has also not really happened. I've been very distant from the language community because I haven't been making videos, haven't been watching very many videos, haven't been studying at all really, and so it feels really good to be back. And just, it was really nice. Earlier I just noticed how much I'm really enjoying just like taking notes on things like conjunctions and sentence structure and that sort of thing, and I was really enjoying watching things. I watched a Lindsay Does Languages video that A, inspired a video that I think is going to come later this summer, and B, taught me about this thing called Radio Garden, where you can just look at other countries' radio stations. Like, you literally just spin the globe and it'll take you to radio stations from that country or that state or whatever. So I listened to a little bit of German radio while I was unpacking. Made me very excited to learn more German.